This week is Parshas Shoftim, literally judges. Like many other parshas, it deals with the idea of the bris. It has a number of translations. The one I will focus on is the idea of a relationship. It says in chapter 17, verse 2, "It will happen when you find in your midst that there will be a man or a woman that will do bad in the eyes of Hashem your God, la'avor, to transgress or to trespass on his covenant." And it goes on to talk of it. It continues, "And he will go and he will serve other gods, and he will bow to them," meaning it's an act of submission, and he will, I believe it later says he will serve them. And it says, specifically mentions the sun, the moon, or the stars in the heaven. So we're dealing with two issues. One is the concept of a relationship, and the other is the concept of other gods. When you're talking about relationships, we have the idea of a family relationship, a father and son, two brothers, friends who may consciously decide to be friends because they've liked the same things and they say, we'll be friends. Employment relationships, employer or employee. We have nations which may have a formal treaty, say revolving around common defense, and we have religious relationships. So to speak, a person has a relationship with his values, and he has a relationship with the literature about those values. When we're talking about other gods, the term used in Hebrew, Elohim, is a variant of power. The idea that through adherence to a certain value, it gives you certain strengths and abilities that, just like you have benefits though, the values will have certain responsibilities. They will have literature, and they will often have some sort of festivals and rituals. When we're talking about, say, a value of money, a person will have luxuries, material benefits, to a certain extent prestige. However, he has to work hard for his money. He also, in terms of literature, he will have to read financial statements, read financial publications. Festivals, if you want to be humorous, you could talk about going to a gambling casino and taking in the good entertainment and the bright lights and the spinning wheels and the hope that you'll come back as a multi-millionaire. There's an aspect of transgressing on, say, a value. For instance, if a person squanders his money, or he has an opportunity to make more money and he passes it over, to a certain extent it is a violation of his relationship with money. In Jewish thought, the sun and the moon and the stars will also have symbolic values. The sun being a symbol of nature, a person taming nature, living in harmony with nature, studying the sciences. The moon is an aspect of evil because the light is concealed. It says in the Gemara that If a person is born under the sign of the moon, he'll be have talent as a thief, because just like the moon conceals itself, he will also have that ability. When you're talking about the stars, it's a multitude of ideas in that, but Venus is a symbol of beauty, Mars a symbol of strength. Now, relationships can be violated as well. A person can spurn his friend if it's an employee and an employer relationship. An employee can do shoddy work, or even worse, he can do things to help his boss's competitors. When you're talking about nations, you could have a disloyal ally that essentially tries to curry favor the enemy in return for individual benefit at the cost of the other nations involved. With religion, you can have violation of religious values. You could have things that really are a blasphemy or a sacrilege that to a faithful person would be painful and very deeply painful. The difference, though, when you're talking about religious values is the existence of a living God. So to speak, if you violate your relationship with money, or a strong man behaves as a weakling, money is not going to get offended, nor is the planet Mars. But when you're talking about the living God, so to speak, he becomes like a spurned friend, or an embarrassed boss, or a husband to which his wife has been disloyal. The aspect of a good society is a society that is principled and loyal. This idea is captured in Psalm 144, verses 12 through 15. Asher banenu k'nitiim, megudlem b'ne'oreisem. That our sons are like saplings matured in their youth. Our daughters are like the corners of a palace, meaning modest, that were hewn in the form of a sanctuary. Our stores are full, and they last from harvest to harvest. Our flocks and our livestock multiply exponentially in our fields. Our leaders work hard, and there is no breach, there is no prostitute, there is no outcry in our streets. Happy is the nation that this is so. Happy is the people who Hashem is their God.